Okay, time for a new video, and whether you are somebody new to my channel or you are returning to my channel to watch this video, it is greatly appreciated. As always, I'm filming this video in one go, so if I stumble over my words moving forwards, apologies about that. And also, if the quality of this video isn't too good, if there's any lag, anything like that at all, sadly it cannot be helped, and hopefully it is not too much of an issue for you. This is yet another Eurovision related video here on my channel, and today I'm going to be taking a look at the songs in contention for the OGAE, or OGAE Second Chance Contest 2022. I'm going to be talking about that in a little bit of depth in just a moment, but firstly, this is the first video from me in a couple of weeks since Eurovision 2022 came to an end. I believe my last video was a review of the entire contest. At this moment in time, we still don't know if Ukraine will actually stage the 67th edition of the Eurovision Song Contest next May, but of course there has to be a decision made on this sooner rather than later, because preparations can be very time consuming, of course, and you don't have a whole lot of time in which to get things done. You have less than a year. Now, Ukraine has hosted twice before, and if what's happening in Eastern Europe wasn't happening, then everything would be looking pretty good, I would say, and Kyiv, no doubt, would be gearing up to stage the competition for a third time within the past 20 years, which is really, really incredible. But because of what's going on over there, everything is up in the air at the moment. I believe the European Broadcasting Union are having regular discussions with the Ukrainian broadcaster, and I wouldn't be surprised if the Ukrainian broadcaster themselves have had conversations with other broadcasters from across Europe. We know that Spain apparently are happy to step in if Ukraine is unable to organise the competition. We have also heard a little bit about the UK potentially stepping in. Of course, Sam Ryder finished second a couple of weeks ago, and it's not an official rule, but if you can't host, then surely the country that finished second should take up the mantle instead. I don't know. Anyway, I know that the president of Ukraine wants the competition to be in Ukraine. He specifically said Mariupol. And somebody else, I think a government official very recently said as well, that they believe the competition can be staged in Ukraine safely enough. And this is the key thing here, safety. If the situation has not improved significantly within the next few months, being a realist, I don't see any possibility of the contest being staged on Ukrainian soil next year. It's just not possible. You have to keep everybody safe, and also the infrastructure as well could potentially be damaged. That would need to be sorted out before next May, and you are thin on time. Anyway, I'm already rambling about this. We will obviously have to keep an eye on matters moving forwards, and I will be filming a video fairly soon regarding what we know so far, which isn't very much at all, about the 2023 competition. Anyway, the dust has settled pretty much on 2022. That includes all of the controversies surrounding the voting irregularities in semi-final 2, and now we must look ahead, and coming up soon is the OGAE Second Chance Contest. Now, I'm sure you're all familiar with what the OGAE is. It is fan clubs from countries all across Europe, and there's also a rest of the world fan club as well, I believe. There's certainly an entry for it, and they select a national final, if indeed their country had a national final, contender, and it goes into this competition. People vote, and overall there is a winner, and usually that winner is Sweden. They've won well over 10 times in the competition's history. I think it started in Finland, actually. And yes, Sweden will probably be one of the front runners again this year. What I'm going to do is go through all of the songs, give you my very brief thoughts, and also tell you about my own personal second chance contest. Because as I've mentioned before on my channel, I do love a good spreadsheet. And for several years now, I've been putting together my own list of second chance competitors, I guess. Just for a bit of fun, nothing serious, of course. And I'll be going through my list for 2022 as I go through the actual real-life competitors, some of which are the same. So, with that being said, let's get through this. I've got the list in front of me. I don't have much in the way of stats, and I don't really want to be clicking backwards and forwards, but there we are. So, this is the running order then. It's the 36th Second Chance Contest. And there's 27 songs involved. There's 28 in mine, so clearly one country isn't participating. But there we are. Ukraine are going to be represented by Roxolana with the song Girls, which is a really catchy pop number. I thought the performance at Vidbir was very good. There's a little bit of sass thrown in for good measure as well. I think this would have been a very good choice, actually, for Eurovision in Turin. Girls just wanna have fun. Da, 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 da. Oh yeah, it's a really good song, actually. And it would have been Alina Pash, but the rules state that because Alina did win the national final, and then obviously there was all of that controversy, Kalish Orchestra went and won the whole thing by a mile anyway, the rules stipulate that Alina can't do the Second Chance Contest because she was the winner of Vidbir. So they had to find another song, and Roxolana it is. And I think, like I said, I haven't got the stats in front of me here, but I believe she finished 4th or 5th, was it? In the little national final Ukraine had. She finished 4th. Did slightly better with the public. So there we go. Really good song. And my pick for Ukraine is All Be All Right by Cloudless, which is a bit more of a rock song. It doesn't really matter. Let's move on. Song 2 is Marko Bošnjak with Moli za nas for Croatia. Yeah, the national final in Croatia wasn't too bad. Some very odd choices by the fan clubs this year, but then again, that's nothing new. Mia Negovatic is right there, and arguably the stronger choice. But Marko, great singer, lovely Balkan ballad this. He finished second, a distant second, behind Mia Dimsic. And my pick for Croatia is Mia Negovatic with Forgive Me Oprosti, which is a lovely sort of Disney movie-esque track. But yes, Moli za nas, lovely song. Had pretty decent potential, I would say, for Turin, but didn't get there in the first place. Really terrific vocals, though. Song 3, Sweden, Ini Diman by Medina. Big act in Sweden, even prior to Melfest, absolutely. This song in Swedish, party atmosphere, crowd fired up for this. There were flames, it's two guys, loads of dancers, bopping backwards and forwards. Just a really good overall production, I would say, for this one. Not one of my favourites, though. They finished 3rd in Melfest, if I recall, behind Cornelia and Anders Bagger. Yes, indeed. They finished 3rd with 109 points, did well with the international juries and the public. My pick for Sweden, though, is Clara Hammarström with Run to the Hills, and I expected that she would push for the win. She was nowhere near. The international juries weren't so keen on her at all, perhaps because she was on first in the running order, killed her chances, but that's my personal pick for Sweden. Moving on, Poland. This is a bizarre one to me. They have plumped for Kuba Schmeikowski and Lovesick, which is a very slick, radio-friendly pop song, little bit repetitive, and if you ask me, really on the generic side. I'm not a big fan of this one, and I'm highly surprised the fan club in Poland picked this, because arguably the finer choice is Paranoia by Daria, which not only do I think would have stood out a lot more than River at Eurovision, but I think that song had potential to be a really big hit across Europe. Really good song, very catchy, very modern. That was the better choice, but no, they went for Kuba, who finished 4th, and this song is probably going to finish nowhere when the Second Chance Contest takes place. My pick for Poland is Paranoia. Song 5, Spain, Rigoberta Bandini with Ay Mama. This was the song with the massive boob on stage. Really, that is the most memorable thing about it. I do like this song more than I did at the time of Benidorm Fest taking place, but my God, this was not the right choice for Spain, and thankfully they didn't send it. They sent Chanel instead. She finished 3rd. You also had Tanchugueiras. I'm amazed the fan club in Spain did not pick Terra. That's my personal pick. That was the clear favourite with the Spanish public. But the OJ fan club have said, aha, no, we'll go with I Mama instead. Yeah, this is a fine track, and I like the sort of message and the lyrics and all of that business. But I've never been on the hype train with it, and Rigoberta finished second, just a couple of points behind Chanel, it must be said, but there's no doubt about it. I Mama would not have received a top 3 result in Turin. Obviously, Slow Mo did, and well deserved. Moving on, song 6, Israel, Elij with Blinded Dreamers. Again, this is a little bit of an odd choice for me, because as much as this is an alright song, I thought the performance at the X Factor Israel was okay. He's not a bad singer. He was the runner-up, just 1 point behind Mikhail Ben David. The best choice for me, Inbal Bibi with Marionette. She was third. Really good singer. Maybe not quite on the money during the X Factor Israel finale, but a really good singer. Lots of potential. And this is quite a dramatic ballad as well. Whereas Blinded Dreamers, it's a little bit more up-tempo, but it doesn't do anything for me. It doesn't really build up to anything. Don't really remember it that well. Can't see it doing terribly well in this Second Chance Contest, but there we are. My pick is Marionette. The real-life pick is Blinded Dreamers. Song 7, Ireland. This is also my choice. Rachel Good with I'm Loving Me. Yes. 2 female dancers with her. This is sort of very plain pop, very safe pop. The sort of thing that you go for if your results have been pretty cruddy for a number of years and you just want to send something that's fairly accessible, not too risky. This would have been the choice for Ireland. I don't really have anything else to say about it. Not bad, not brilliant. And I do remember, I think it was the in-studio jury. They really didn't like this. Oh no, they really didn't like Brooke. Rachel was last with the studio jury, but second with the public, but it wasn't enough to avoid finishing 5th out of 6 songs. Oof, fair enough. Moving on. Oh dear, what am I doing? The next one is Italy, La Rappresentante di Lista with Ciao Ciao, one of the catchiest songs of the national final season, although Sanremo is not strictly speaking a national final. Really, really good stuff. Good music video, good vocals, good energy, very memorable. You know, that chorus does get stuck in your head quite a bit. I've listened to this plenty of times since Sanremo finished. I believe they finished 3rd. Let me just check that. My pick for Italy, by the way, is the real-life runner-up, Elisa, big star, with O Forse Sei Tu, or Maybe It's You. Absolutely gorgeous ballad. Didn't seem to me as though a lot of people outside Italy really enjoyed this one, and it probably wouldn't have done that well at Eurovision either, but I just think it's a terrific track. Let me just check here. Ciao Ciao finished... Oh, it didn't finish 3rd, my apologies. They finished 7th. So there you go. But I think they will be back sooner rather than later to try and represent Italy. Next is Serbia, song 9. This is also my pick. Muškarčina, which I think translates as Macho Man, something like that, by Sarah Joe, who has done Eurovision before, I believe. Let me check this. This is a very interesting sort of dark, sort of, well, it's not synth, almost techno-type track. It's going in that sort of vein. Quite a sexy performance, I would say, as well. She had that sort of circular structure on stage. Oh my goodness. It's been ages since I saw these performances, so do bear with me. She had a couple of dances, I think. Yeah, it's quite catchy. Staged quite well, and I think coming into the Serbian national selection, this was the one that people were really talking about, and then Constractor came along and won instead. Yeah, Muškarčina, Sarah Joe, 28, born in Rome. She has done Eurovision before, as part of Moje 3, who didn't qualify in 2013. So there you go. And again, I think she'll be somebody who comes back sooner rather than later. Romania next, song 11. Oh no, my apologies. Song 10, Finland, Ram Pam Pam by Bess. Finland's national selection, UMK, was absolutely fantastic. Decent amount of variety. Good singers, songs that really stood out. Fantastic. Less was more in Finland's case. And best, this song, #1 for an absolute eternity in Finland. Probably should have gone to Eurovision instead of the Rasmus. Loads of people were really bigging this one up coming into the national final. She finished 3rd, 204 points, which isn't bad, but well behind the Rasmus, who of course came out on top. My pick for Finland is Cyan Kicks with Hurricane, which I can tell you right now, I may as well tell you, it is my Second Chance Contest winner, which is the first time Finland's my Second Chance winner. Just a really good song that was staged so well with the sort of illusion effect on the backdrop. Absolutely fantastic. And the lyric video as well, very good. Got me very excited because it was the first song released for UMK. And I love how they drip feed us those tracks. I think that's a really wonderful method. Anyway, Ram Pam Pam, great song. Performed well, super catchy. Lyric video had a sort of slight Tarantino vibe to it. Good stuff. Moving on, and that is surely going to push for the win. Number 11 is Romania, Gabriel Basco with One Night. Lovely ballad this, but to be honest, not going to stand out from the field too much. I thought that he was probably going to win the whole thing after Do Svidania was knocked out. That's my pick. But instead, obviously, Chamame won, and that was the right choice. Gabriel finished 4th. So there you go. Lovely stuff. Not much else to say about it. It's just a fine ballad. Czech Republic, song 12. That's Jezinki by Judy. Can you believe this? It just feels like such an eternity since the Czech songs were released. It was last year, before Christmas. My God, it just feels like so much longer than that. But anyway, this is such an interesting track. This would have stood out so much at Eurovision. Very haunting, very beautiful, high-pitched vocals. Very mysterious, ethereal, otherworldly, all of those synonyms that you can think of. Oh man, a very good pick. A very good pick. But if we take a look at the actual results of the national final, of course, We Are Domi came out on top, and Jezinki finished 3rd with 15 points. So there we go. My pick for the Czech Republic is Running Out of Effing Time by Annabelle, which is this sort of pop-punk effort. Moving on to Portugal, they've gone with Ainda Nós Temos by Sairo, and this is a gorgeous ballad, staged very simply, not a whole lot of movement, sort of a choir type backing vocals. Oh yes, soaring vocals, really pretty, deserved better. Looking at the Festival de Canção results, he finished nowhere. Yeah, second last, 9th out of 10 songs. The jury did not like this one bit, really, which surprises me because it's jury bait. But there you are. My pick, and this was a close call, but I've gone with OGAE, who is a massive star in Portugal, with Why, which is another really beautiful ballad. Takes a while to get going. Takes too long to get going, in all honesty. And that song finished 5th in the end. Got to move on to the rest of the world entry, which comes from San Marino, and it's Christina Ramos, Spanish. I think she was on Spain's Got Talent or something like that. Operatic type song this, heartless game. I don't mind it, but there's also something a little bit irritating about it to me. And that's all I've got to say about this particular track. My choice for San Marino is, well, it's cheap stuff. It's the best way that I can say it. It's Ivana Spania with Seriously in Love. It's ultra-dated stuff, but it's fairly catchy. I can listen to it. It is what it is. So yeah, San Marino, rest of the world, can't see them getting many points here. For Latvia, an odd choice. Could have gone with Aminata, the sort of slight lucky charm for the Latvians, I suppose, over the past couple of years. But no, they've gone with Bermudu Divsturis with Bad, which is this sort of... it's a bit of a clubby song, I suppose. It's got a bit of a moody undertone to it. Yes, indeed. An interesting choice, can't see it doing well. Finished 7th in Supernova this year. Did all right with the public, not terribly well with the jury. My pick for Latvia is Naked Smile by Toms Kalderauskas. This was one of the wild card picks, and this was a song that did not get picked from that wild card selection. Blimey, excuse me, I'm sneezing at the poor quality on offer from Latvia this year. Yeah, that's all I've got to say about it. Naked Smile's really good, by the way. You should listen to it if you haven't already done so. And that was a problem with Latvia this year. I discussed this previously, but a lot of these wildcard picks were better than what was already there in the first place for Latvia, if you ask me. So it's about spotting that better quality earlier on, I suppose. Moving on, Germany, Felice Chalou with Anxiety. I found out recently, when I rewatched the music video, that she filmed it all by herself in her apartment during the lockdown, I think. Pretty impressive. She's good. I like her. I like her voice. I think the song's not bad. I like the lyrics. Probably should have been the choice for Germany this year, but alas, they plumped for Malik instead. My choice for Germany is actually Emily Roberts with Soap, which is this very safe, albeit fairly contemporary, I would say, pop offering. During the national final, she forgot the lyrics. It was all over the shop, and she finished last, but I don't mind it. Got to move on to Iceland, and they've just gone with the actual runner-up from Songvakeppnin, which is Turn This Around by Reykjavíkudætur, the Daughters of Reykjavik. This sort of female collective group. Really good, quite fun. Would have been a pretty decent entry for Iceland this year. Would have stood out from the field. Certainly if it had been this song instead of Methækandi Sol in the second half of the grand final, then Iceland would have stood out amongst the sea of ballads we had. My pick is Thalvanaf, or what's it called? Then Again, by Katla. Really lovely track. Had this whole thing with mirrors on stage. Fantastic stuff. Katla is currently in a TV series. Can't remember the name of it, but she's in it. Anyway, that's Iceland. Lovely stuff. Albania next, and they've gone with the real-life runner-up, which is Thea by Alban Ramosai. Don't know if he's coming back to FIC. I have a feeling he will be involved sooner rather than later. Big, dramatic, a little bit theatrical this. Big ballad. My pick for Albania is Valazoi Meti by Casey Rustia, which I don't even think made the final of FIC. It was a sort of newcomer song, I believe. Anyway, this song, Thea, it was sort of shot in monochrome. He was really going for it. Yeah, very ominous, quite dark. Would have been a good entry for Albania. And I'm not surprised it is the song for Albania in the Second Chance Contest this year. Norway have gone with North Kid, the boy band, with Someone. This was the runner-up, the surprise runner-up of MGP earlier in the year. I thought they would have gone with Death of Us by Elsie Bay. That's clearly the stronger, more popular choice. But no, the fan club clearly just doing their own thing. It's quite a forgettable track, this. I honestly couldn't tell you really how the melody goes at all. I can't remember the performance. My pick for Norway is actually Made of Glass by Sophie Fjellvang. This is written by Kjetil Mørland, who of course was part of the double act in 2015. And anything he does in MGP is gold dust. He co-wrote Attention, Ulrika. Let's bring her back next year, thank you. He also wrote the runner-up behind Alexander Rybak in 2018, Who We Are by Rebecca, great song. He's also had En Livred Man, which didn't even make the top 4 the other year, ridiculous. But that guy is an absolute gem. Anything he does, gold, as far as I'm concerned. And Made of Glass, a great track, performed by a very good singer. And sadly, it didn't really push for the win in the end. Moving on, Australia, they have gone with Voyager, who are a sort of metal band from Perth, I believe, with Dreamer. This is a pretty good song. Would have stood out at Eurovision, absolutely. Considerably more than Not the Same, it has to be said. Just a few points behind Sheldon in the end. Won the public vote, a little bit further behind with the juries. My pick for Australia when I was going back through all of the songs, Jaguar Jones with Little Fires. I prefer this over her previous effort, which was called Rabbit Hole. But this is good, Little Fire. She was in this sort of dress that then went up in flames. Really lovely track. Quite emotionally charged, I would say. Great stuff. But Voyager, also fantastic. Then again, if this had been the Australian choice, I would have been saying in my videos, oh, this has the potential to be very messy in Turin. I'm a little bit concerned. So I don't know if this song would have done well at all, but it's a decent enough track, and it is Australia's pick for the Second Chance Contest this year. Only a few more to go. Estonia have gone with Anna Salena, the 2002 representative, and my winner that year in Tallinn, with Champion. Nothing particularly special, this song, but it's uplifting, it's hopeful, it's nice. Anna's a very experienced singer. She's been at Eurovision loads of times as a backing singer, including for Michael Rice the other year in Tel Aviv for the UK. I would have thought Estonia would have gone with something else, though. I'm not sure what. Let me just take a look here. Eesti Laul actually wasn't bad at all, even though it was quite a drawn-out process. Yeah, I would have thought they would have gone with maybe Hjargup Twisk, but then again, he was last in the final. So there we go. Elisa was right there, but that live performance was not particularly great. Not at all, if you ask me. So yes, it is Champion instead. My pick, really good song this, one of my favourite national final tracks of the season. It's Little Girl by Marilyn Malk. And sadly she did not get to perform this live because of a positive COVID test. Moving on, Malta. What on earth is this? They've gone with Denise with Boy, which is a sassy number. Pretty good. I thought this was shot very well. Certainly one of the stronger songs in the Maltese selection this year. But clearly, and I think you might well be in agreement with me here, the more popular choice, Aiden with Ritmu. I saw his face so much it was ridiculous. I mean, I saw him more often than I saw Emma Muscat, who was the actual Maltese representative. He will be back, probably as soon as next year. He will represent Malta at some point. I feel pretty confident about that. And to be honest, it would have been nice for him to win with Ritmu, which was this sort of cowboy-themed pop song, because it was in Maltese, and Malta have not performed entirely in their own language for years, which is beyond me. But anyway, they've gone with Denise, who finished 5th. It's a fine song, but it's not going to get much love here. So, my pick for Malta, by the way, is Aiden with Ritmu. There we go. And my pick for Estonia, I've already mentioned. Slovenia, they've gone with the runner-up, Batista Cadillac with Mim Pravil, which actually is a pretty decent song. I didn't really pay too much attention to EMA this year. Certainly the EMA Fresh pre-qualification thing, I barely paid attention to at all. But then when I was listening to all of the songs again to put together my own Second Chance contest, this wasn't bad. It's a bit of a swinging, rock-type number. Not bad at all. Performed fairly well. But like LPS, wouldn't have done that well at Eurovision. The song that I've actually gone for is Vshekar Imam, All I Have, by Klara Yazbek, who is a beautiful woman. And this song finished... Where did she finish? She didn't even make the final. Oh no, that's EMA Fresh. She didn't even make the final. She was 9th with the public, 8th with the jury in semi-final 2 on February the 12th. This has a bit of a Celtic whiff to it. There was a dancer. It's very sweet. Nothing truly incredible, but I liked it, and that was my personal pick. Then we have North Macedonia, who've gone with the runner-up in their national final, and if it had been a slightly different rule to determine the winner, it would have been this guy in Turin, Viktor Apostolovsky with Superman. He tied with Andrea, but because the public liked Andrea more, I think, or was it the jury liked Andrea more, so she went to Turin instead, thank heavens. This song is messy, fun, but messy, quite silly. I mean, it feels unfinished a little bit. You just know that if this had gone to Turin, it just would have been not that great at all. It really wouldn't have been that great. Anyway, my pick for North Macedonia is Flower of Sorrow by Lara Ivanova, which is a fine enough ballad. Again, nothing particularly special though. Only 3 songs left now. Lithuania have gone with Not Your Mother by Lolita Zero, who's been involved before, I believe, in the Lithuanian selection. This song the horns, the silver outfit, was it? Very moody, very different, very sort of dark techno type stuff. Best way that I can describe it. Never been a fan of it. Not really my cup of tea at all, but I can understand why the Lithuanian fan club have selected this, and I believe Lolita finished 3rd in the national final, was it? Let me take a look here. Yeah, 3rd. 2nd with the public, and 3rd with jury, 3rd overall, 18 points. My pick for Lithuania is Ieva Zasimauskaite, the 2018 representative, with I'll Be There, which is a lovely ballad, but to be honest, nothing that really stands out much, and she finished 7th out of 8 songs in the final. Denmark have opted for Rave med Hovedreng by Full Defect, which is a rave-type number. Highly repetitive. Green colour scheme, lots of flashing lights. Quite old school, thumping beat. Not bad at all, but nothing particularly incredible again. My pick for Denmark is Confessions with Hallelujah, which was the 2 women and the guy, wasn't it? And it was all white, and there was a choir. Yeah, very safe. Again, nothing particularly incredible. But there we are. That's Denmark. And then the last country is France, and they've opted for La Nuit Pauline, which I think was the runner-up, by Pauline Shane, and she had that huge instrument, if I remember. Very throwback, very 80s, very quirky. Not much else to say about this. Not bad, but I think if this had been the French entry, I don't know, maybe it would have won over a lot of fans, gained a lot more support, perhaps. Then again, part of me thinks that this would have really flopped. I don't know. Then again, of course, the song that France did select, Foulaine, did flop indeed. My pick is Seul by Soa, the brother and sister, I believe it is. That was very good. Liked it from the first time I heard it. Sort of pop meets hip-hop, I guess, a little bit. And yeah, that would have been my selection. I'm surprised the French OGAE fan club didn't pick it, but there we are. It's Pauline with La Nuit Pauline instead. So I've got 28, and the actual contest has 27. So Moldova's not involved. My pick for Moldova, by the way, is Katie Rain with Layla. The studio version is very good. The live version was really quite messy. But then again, the national final, if you can call it that in Moldova, wasn't particularly well put together, it has to be said. It was in the studio, the sound quality wasn't brilliant. But somehow, Moldova still ended up being the 2nd favourite with the public this year. So there you go. That's it. Very messy video. I think the real-life winner, well, it's Ukraine could win it. Of course they could, just like the real thing in Turin. But I think maybe Sweden, Italy, certainly, Finland. It's going to be Italy or Finland. I can't see anybody else doing it. And then Finland is the winner of my Second Chance contest as well. Anyway, that's it. Not much more to say. Thank you very much for all of the support over the past few months. I will keep making videos moving forwards about Eurovision 2023, and also starting up my Look Back series, which I've been doing on and off for ages now. Feel free to leave comments, like, subscribe, links in the description to my other social media pages. It's much appreciated. And I'll be back soon with another video. Until then, take care of yourselves, stay safe, and bye for now. See you soon.